Hey everybody, Kelly Engineering here, and welcome to episode 19 of Project Ozone 3. The first thing that you may actually notice is I am not in my normal GUI scale. I'm actually in the large scale because another person requested that I try it, so I got my ibuprofen beside me, and yeah, it definitely hurts. Uh, Another thing that you're going to notice is that despite the fact that I'm still in a hotel room right now, I'm still on travel, I'm back in my standard 16 to 9 resolution because I fangled with some stuff, and even though I'm still using the ultra wide monitor, it's recording as if it was a normal 1920 by 1080 resolution. So the mobile users shouldn't have as much of a problem viewing the episode as they were having for the past three. Um, but yeah, so I have those two things going for me right now. In between episodes, I've had the builder running. And let's get rid of that. I've had the builder running, and all of it's been going from wherever I placed the builder. I've already done it with the Nether, and it's actually working at Landia right now. But I made this modular storage unit and put a large tier 3 storage module in there. So I'm holding 300 stacks worth of stuff in this right now, and I actually need to clear it out. Limestone and marble, I'm getting like crazy, so I set up these barrels to have the stuff from Landia go in there. And when I was going through the Nether, I made a barrel for each of the netherracks as well. But stuff like clay, coal, which I'm getting a lot of, this olive stuff, I don't need any of that, and I'm going to clean it out. And luckily today we're working on an ME system, so I won't have to be using the ME, the modular storage, for very much longer. So this is the hole that was made from using the builder in the Nether. I got a lot of stuff. Actually, do I have Civ with me? Yeah. I have over 3,000 diamonds now, and I think before I even started this operation, it was somewhere around like 300. I think I had 300 diamonds. But I made some stellar grinding walls out of the stellar alloy ingots. But I made these grinding balls, and wow, they're awesome. And it's what I was using when I was grinding up all of the nether diamonds. And yeah, 3,000 diamonds. That's pretty awesome. This is what the Landia operation looks like so far. And obviously it's not complete yet because the modular storage can't accept anything else. But I have the builder over here along with a chicken chunks chunk loader. So apparently the FTB chunk loading, which you can just do by clicking and then shift clicking again, and bam, I have chunk loaded stuff. But apparently that doesn't work cross-dimensionally very well. So I'm using the chicken chunks chunk loader, and so far I have had no issues whatsoever. But yeah, I have my shape card in here. It's a clearing silk quarry. And if you're going to be running this for extended periods of time, make sure that you have the Operation Not Possible weight selection selected. Oh, those dang things. But yeah, make sure that that's selected. Otherwise, you'll end up with a spotty looking... If you run out of power in the builder, then it'll just keep running down and not collect anything. And it won't look as clean as this. And this is all of the stuff that I've gotten from my nether builder operation, and I've pulverized it all down in the sag mill. And what I've been doing is I've been taking it out and just transferring it over to my endist furnaces. I upgraded my ore processing just to the regular process. Well, regular I say, but the processing upgrade, which means anything that goes into this furnace will be doubled. It doesn't matter what it is. So I've gotten quite a bit of copper and lead out of this. Yeah, I'm at 29 stacks of blocks for iron. And yeah, I'm doing absolutely fantastic on that stuff. The bulk of what I was doing in between episode was once again working on the other side of the factory. And I have more than enough basalt to finish it, but with the amount of work that I've been doing on my day job, I really didn't get a lot. I didn't get as much done as I wanted to. I wanted to at least get the entire floor in and finish off this roof, but that's gonna have to be a weekend project now. User Ugzug requested that I actually explain my main motivation behind behind why I decided to build in this style. And frankly, sorry man, I don't have the time to explain in this episode because there's a lot I want to cover. But in episode 20, I will absolutely explain, once the factory is complete, I'll absolutely explain what the motivation was, what I wanted out of this base, and actually I think episode 20, yeah, I may even release a world download for it. Who knows? We'll see. But this episode, I want to get into Applied Energistics 2. So I have this little thing of water right now. I'm going to go grab some materials, be right back with you, and show you what it's for. So I have a bunch of AE2 related stuff here, the first of which being Skystone. While I'm explaining what I'm about to explain, I'm going to throw this Skystone into this barrel of lava, because it's going to make me, well, Skystone dust, because it's going to make me Skystone. Is it really doing that right now? Hold on, I need to mess with the filter. There we go. So what it's doing is it is dropping the Skystone dust onto a barrel of lava, making me Skystone, and that is going to be required, well, a version of it's going to be required for my ME controllers. If you look in my inventory, I already have some Fluix crystals here, but in order to make Fluix crystals, all you need is some charged Certus quartz, redstone, and nether quartz. In water, where did my charged Certus quartz go? Oh. Steve picked it up. There we go. And after all of that is in there, it'll make Fluix for you. So bam, I have 4 stacks of Fluix, and the first thing I'm going to do with this Fluix is throw it in a sag mill. Bim bam, alright. I got Fluix dust, Certus quartz dust, and crushed quartz, and then the Certus quartz crystal. And I am just about ready to begin. Next thing I'm going to do is going to make a lot of quartz fiber. And the reason why I'm going to be making that is because I need to make ME cable. And with the ME cable, I'm going to be upgrading that to... Wow, did the recipe change? Here we are, the ME covered cable, and then to the smart cable. Yada yada, we'll get all into that later on. But what the quartz fiber does is it's just a cable for Applied Energistics 2 that transfers power. It doesn't transfer data, it just transfers power. And the thing that we're going to be transferring power for next is actually the Crystal Growth Accelerator. And then later on the Crystal Growth Chamber. But the Crystal Growth Accelerator is going to require me to actually have some ME and then Fluix blocks. So, let's make some Fluix blocks. Alright, so I have 20 ME glass cable Fluixes, and I should have enough. I need quartz glass. Alright, that's easy enough. Alright, I made some quartz glass. I'm going to need that glass later. Made the ME Fluix, and I'm making 5 Crystal Growth Accelerators. I'm going to go set these up, and be right back with you to show you what they do. So I have made this goofy looking setup. So it's 4 Crystal Growth Accelerators and then that ME glass cable that I made earlier attached to the back of them. So the reason why I did it on the back is because if you look... So I just tried to place the cable on top and it doesn't accept. The only way that the ME cables and the quartz cables and whatever cable can attach to the Crystal Growth Accelerator is via the back. So cable routing is be a little doofy, but whatever. Another thing that you'll notice about the ME glass cables is if I put down this energy cell, you'll see that it doesn't connect. So no power can actually leave this cell to get to AE2 related things. And that is what the energy acceptor is for. So the energy acceptor, and it did make that connection, will take power from any other mod and then turn it into something that AE2 can use. So now that you see this electricity going in here, you'll know that the system's actually working. But what I'm going to do is I also made this basic energy cell. I'm going to put that on top as well, just so I can have some power going into it. And yeah, it's not much power, but it'll do for now. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to make pure AE2 seeds. By putting in some Fluix dust and then some sand, I get Fluix seeds, and I get 2 stacks of them. Alright, I got more sand, and now I need to throw sand and the Certus quartz, and I get 2 stacks of Certus quartz seeds. Right here. Now, it says in the tooltip these items do not despawn, and it's absolutely right. They don't despawn. If you drop them in water and wait an ungodly amount of time, and I have never bothered to actually test how long it takes, but eventually they will become pure seeds. But we're not going to do it that way. That's why we made the crystal growth accelerators. And we're going to throw our seeds in the crystal growth accelerators. And because of the crystal growth accelerators, this will actually speed up the process. And if you look at it, the seeds actually just get a little bit bigger. Alright, and that should do it. So, what used to take hours now takes a matter of minutes. And you can see I have 2 stacks of pure Fluix crystals and 2 stacks of pure Certus quartz crystals. And what those are going to be for is for the ME controller, at least for the pure Fluix crystals. So it looks like if I want to make these inscribers, I'm going to have to bust into mystical agriculture as well. So I'm going to go into mystical agriculture and make some Fluix and Certus quartz seeds. I'll be right back with you once I do that. Alright, I have my Fluix and Certus quartz seeds growing up right now, and right now they're all 111s, but I wanted to take this opportunity to explain the crystal growth accelerator. It's a little finicky when it gets placed. It will always point up. So, and you don't want that if you're going to go for this setup. So what you need to do is just place a block, place the crystal growth accelerator, it'll be in the correct orientation, and alternately, oh, should probably get this back. There we go. So now I would just have to supply power to the bottom of this, which, whatever, it's no issue, and then I can increase the speed of this one more time. Or alternatively, what you could do is you can make the crystal growth chamber, which is 6 crystal growth accelerators, a hopper, a chest, and an ME cable. That's all well and good. Made that. Now the setup for this is decidedly much easier. All you have to do is just place it and put in whatever seeds you want, and they'll grow up as if it was in the little surrounding setup that we had earlier. And also saves on Fluix cable. So, that's all well and good. I'm very happy with that. And I'm actually going to push power after this again. Boom, baby. So, it says sleeping, so it's not really using power right now. But the second I put in one of the seeds, it'll grow up. So the next thing that we're going to be working on is the Inscriber. So, I'm going to make 2 of them. Well, make 2 of them. Now the Inscriber, what they do, and I'll just place it down and show you what the interface looks like. So the interface is you put in a material, you put in a press, and what you're going to get is you're going to get like a circuit looking thing right here. So printed calculation circuit. So if I put the Inscriber calculation press in here with pure Certus quartz, I will get the printed calculation circuit. These circuits are required in order to make processors, and the processors are required to make most of the other stuff in AE2. So now that I have these 2 inscribers, I'm going to need to make the presses, which is what I needed the Certus quartz and Fluix essence for. Make the calculation press, the Inscriber engineering, the logic, and the silicon. Boom. Got all of them. Alright, the next thing I'm going to make is this charger. It's not really needed for much right now, but it could be later on. So I have this charger here. I'm going to go set it down on my power. Yeah, we'll set it right there. So it has power now. I'm going to take out some regular Certus quartz crystal. And I'm going to place it in there. I cannot place an entire stack? Well, alright then. But now, see how it contains a Certus quartz crystal? Now it contains a charged Certus quartz crystal. That's really all this thing is used for. It can also, there's another block that it can go into, but I don't need it right now. Once I get to it, I'll show it in the charger. That, and I can't recall what that block actually is. But yeah, that's what the charger's for, and I'm not going to use it very much for right now until I need more charged Certus quartz, which I have 283, and I think like a full stack from my building operations. Alright, I have everything set up. The first thing I'm going to do is, where's my Yeah, my calculation press. There she is. So the calculation press and pure Certus quartz crystal. And this thing is rather slow right now, but I can put speed upgrades in it. Will make me printed silicon circuits. Now, unfortunately, I can only put one thing in at a time when it comes to these inscribers, and I'm going to upgrade them momentarily. But so that is the calculation press. Next is the engineering press, and the engineering press was diamonds to have your engineering circuits. Then we have the logic press, which requires gold ingots. And finally, we have the silicon press, which is actually, quite frankly, the one you'll be using the most of if you're going to be making processors, because this printed silicon is required in order to make the processors. So I'm going to get right into making the advanced inscriber and show you what that does, but I'm going to need that printed silicon I was telling you about earlier, a engineering circuit, and some redstone. So bam, I have the engineering processor, and I'm going to need 4 of those. So here we go. Now that I have 4 of those, I'm going to break these. And I got my press back. I made those doorways too low. And right here, advanced inscriber, going to make 2 of them and place them right back down. So the advanced inscriber, I can lock whatever's in there. So the inscriber engineering press, which means whenever this thing is being automated, nothing can change its course. And bam, look at that. I can have a full stack of stuff in there. It goes much faster. And it's just better all around. So I'm going to actually have to make 4 of these. One for each press. And yeah, beauty. Awesome. So I have made each one of the processors, the logic, calculation, and engineering. And actually has given me a choice reward. So I think I'm going to go with the logic processor. Just because the... Oh, nice. Just because the logic processor allows me to make ME storage cells, and that's really what I want right now. So I'm going to take the 16 logic processors, and we are going to move on, mainly to the ME controller. That means I'm heading over here to get my skystone, and I'm going to throw that skystone into a furnace. Furnace mode, excellent. Now, with this skystone, where did you just go? Oh, phew. So with this skystone, it's going to allow me to make ME controllers using pure fluix crystals and engineering processors. Now I'm going to make some more engineering processors because I have none right now. And I'll be back with you once I have made a lot of ME controllers. Alright, I have assembled everything necessary to make 64 ME controllers plus 4. And the reason why I made that many is so I could make this monstrosity. So this is a 7x7x7 square of, or cube rather, of ME controllers. The maximum size that the mod will allow. So when I say that, it's a little misleading. I can put as many ME controllers in a 7x7x7 area as I want, so long as no more than 2 ME controllers are touching at the same time. So I'm going to break this, and so say I put it right here. That means that this would be an invalid structure because I have one ME controller hitting more than 2 sides. So this is the simplest design that I could make the maximum amount of maximum use of space for. So this is the design I'm going for. Now I'm going to hook some power up to this by using this energy cell, and there we go. So the ME controller is capable of accepting energy from any source. You do not need to use the energy acceptor whenever you have attached power to the ME controller. So you can see it's actually using quite a bit of power, and that is a little unacceptable. So I'm going to grab one of my Spectre coils, and I have just placed it on the ME controller. So I do not know. Actually, I think this is actually pretty good, and it'll actually hold. Who knows after I start adding stuff to it, and the power drain starts to be a little bit more. But you can see that it's a little flashy, and I may turn that off because staring at it for too long is a little mesmerizing. But yeah, I may try to find a way to turn off this pulsing, if I even can. So I have just made ME covered cable by taking the glass cable and not surrounding it, but putting it with a stack of wool. And then I'm going to add some redstone and glowstone and make smart cables. Wait for the quest to update on that. The quest is updated on that. And then I'm going to... I'm sorry, what? Oh, no. So I messed up by making this smart cable. I I kind of went in the wrong order. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to... well, I'm out of Fluix, so what I'm going to do is take this cable, turn it into covered cable again, and with this covered cable, I'm going to put it in a 4x4 and make a dense covered cable. From the dense covered cable, I need another stack of glowstone and redstone, and put that in there to make the dense smart cable. So the big difference between the each of these cables, the ME glass cable can only handle one channel out of the on an ME controller. The smart cable can handle 8, and the dense can handle 32. So what these channels mean to us is whenever you attach a cable onto one of the ME controllers, it's using 32 channels. Well, because I'm using the dense cable, if I had a smart cable, I'll attach the smart cable up here. You see that it's only capable of using 8 channels. Now, because every single face of this is 32 different channels, it wouldn't really make sense unless you have a small thing going to only put down a smart cable, or where are my glass cables? Or put down a cable right here. So I'm going to stick with the dense cables. If I need to, I'll go to the smart cables, but I will never use the glass cables on this ME controller. One more thing about the channel stuff is inscribers and crystal growth chambers, the charger. These do not use a channel when they are connected to an ME controller. So I could have 8 inscribers and 2 crystal growth chambers, whatever, attached to a dense cable, and it would never take up one of my 32 channels available to me. So keep that in mind with your inscribers and stuff. Another thing about the smart cables and the dense cables is they can be dyed. So I am going to just dye 16 of these blue, 16 of these red, and do the same thing for the dense cables as well. But the when you color code them, it just makes it a little bit easier to differentiate. If you want a specific line to only be for specific things, then my red line can only be going to my crafting, stuff like that. So that is why it's worth it. It's definitely worth it. My bad. It's definitely worth it to color code your channels. The next thing I have created are ME drives, and it required making another batch of engineering processors, but whatever, that's no problem. As I said at the beginning of the episode, I have more than enough diamonds. And I'm actually going to leave this one open for now. Alright. Network Apprentice. So the next thing I'm going to be creating are some storage cells. And these storage cells are what I needed these logic processors for earlier. So let's look them up. There are more storage cells than I remember there being the last time I played around with this, but I'm sure that we'll have no problem figuring it out. Like, wow, that's a lot of storage. The first one that I am going to make is this 1K ME storage component, which is pure Certus quartz or regular Certus quartz, redstone, and logic processor. So I am going to make a bunch of those. Get some redstone, 1K storage components, and I am going to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Cool. And after that, you can either make the storage housing by yourself, or when you have the component, you can just make the storage housing, put the 1K and bam, you have the 1K ME storage cell. So I'm missing the iron for that. And bam, I have a couple of them because my storage is so full. But I am going to add them to this ME drive. So this seems like a complete waste of resources, and you're absolutely right. It is a waste of resources. I could have gone to the next step up, the 4K, and the 4K storage component is made with 3 1K storage components. So, it is what it is, but I just wanted to show off these for now. The next thing that I am going to make is the terminal so that we can actually look inside these storage cells and see what they're capable of. Before we make the terminals though, we need to make formation and annihilation cores, which is just nether quartz or pure nether quartz crystal. And I am going to make 4 of those. And then with the formation cores, same thing. Going to make 4 of those in order to make the terminal. Now, before you make the crafting terminal, which is the one I want to make, you need to make the ME terminal. The ME terminal requires the annihilation and formation core, a logic processor, and this bright illuminated panel. And of course I'm missing the glowstone and a piece of iron. There we go, illuminated panel. And then for the ME terminal. And then the crafting terminal is a calculation processor and a crafting station. And here we are, ME crafting terminal. So I have this ME crafting terminal, and I'm going to head back over to the controllers station. And I am going to take a piece of glass, put that over here, and you know what? Yeah, we'll put the crafting terminal right here. So I have the crafting terminal, and it's attached to my 7x7. So on this edge right here, I have all of my ME drives attached. But I am going to be able to access my stuff from here. So I'm just going to throw all of this in here. That's all well and good. And what it did is it transferred over here. So because my ME drives are connected to this overall 7x7x7 interface, that means that no matter where they are in line, then they can be accessed from here. And that is one of the glories. Yeah, one of the glories of using Applied Energistics is it doesn't matter. I can access that stuff from anywhere. If I can actually extend out these smart cables pretty much, not indefinitely, but nigh indefinitely, and still be able to access everything. Oh, pardon me. Still be able to access everything from one central location. So I have an ME system. That is glorious. And yeah, just to show that off, I'm going to move the cable over here just to show that I can access it from any face. It doesn't matter which one. But with that, I think I'm going to call this an episode. In between episodes, I'm finally going to finish this side of the factory. And I'm also going to make a bunch of, I think I'm going to go up to 16K storage drives. And try to fill up at least 3 of those ME drives over there. Monday I will actually be releasing 2 episodes, one of which is going to be a base tour / world download. And yeah, I'm going to be busy. I'm going to have my work cut out for me this weekend, clearing all of these torches and making everything look good without the use of torches. So yeah, I'm going to be making painted glowstone like nobody's business. But yeah, it'll be a base tour / world download. I'll also be releasing the normal episode where I'll be going over Applied Energistics too, but this time going over the crafting station stuff. So I will actually be setting up auto crafting stations and on like a second platform up here. So yeah, I'll be going over all that and anything that I have undoubtedly missed in this episode. This episode was just about setting up the basic ME system. And yeah, mission accomplished. But I am Kelly Engineering. I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I will see you on Monday. Bye-bye.